Take a break from your busy schedule and join Harold Sala for Guidelines, a 5-minute commentary on living.
The president and general manager of a manufacturing company learned that their company had been producing a product that was badly flawed. A television reporter wanted an interview which would have focused on the problem. Facing the situation, the key man had 3 choices. 1, he could deny the problem existed, which subordinates encouraged him to do. 2, he could duck out the back door and let a subordinate try to smooth over the problem. Or 3, he could face the music, acknowledge the problem, and outline a solution, which is exactly what he chose to do. That's integrity. A real estate executive was offered a substantial bribe for pushing a certain project. But what the person who offered the bribe did not know was that on the recommendation of the same executive, the board of the company had already made the decision to go with the project. For a fleeting moment, the man realized he could quite easily take the bribe and no one would know. He refused the money and reported the offer. That's integrity. A visit to a fast foods drive-through restaurant netted far more than tacos for one area resident. Included with the order was the cash receipts for the previous day in a bag just like the one that the food came in. When the man opened his sack, he found the receipts and promptly turned around, drove back to the restaurant, and returned the money. That's integrity. A researcher was asked to put her name to a document which contained bogus statistics and doctored results. Though she would not have been directly involved, her conscience was. Though her superiors threatened to fire her for non-cooperation, she refused to sign the document. That's integrity. Our English word integrity comes from a word which means uprightness. In simple terms, it's what you are which makes you do what you do. At times, integrity is neither appreciated nor rewarded, especially when other individuals think the way to get ahead is to just go along. As I paid for a book recently using a credit card, the young man handling the transaction returned the wrong slip, which would have meant he would have had the receipt and I would have had the entire charge slip. As I called his attention to this, I commented, "If you don't have this, your company doesn't get its money." Without a word of thanks, the young man made the switch, and I left feeling like, why bother, he didn't care. Then I began thinking of the issue of integrity. Doing the right thing because you get thanked for it is not a reflection of real integrity. Rather, it's doing the right thing because it's the right thing. In recent days, I've spent quite a lot of time in either communist countries or former communist countries, and I've pondered the obvious lack of morals and integrity when God is left out of the equation. I've come to the conclusion that integrity is part of the moral fabric which is based on ultimate accountability to God, which in turn makes me accountable to you as my neighbor or friend. When you do right only because it's rewarded or you get thanked for it, you have a Pavlov kind of response to a situation. But when you do the right thing because your conscience demands it, you are motivated by integrity. The quick fix, the shortcut, the feeling that you can get away with something which feels good or is profitable is what drives societies to moral bankruptcy. Whether or not the young man who handled the purchase of my book cared, the company got the money. What's more, my conscience was clear.
You've just heard Dr. Harold Sala with Guidelines, a 5-minute commentary on living. If you would like to listen to the program again, download a copy, subscribe to our e-commentary, or view other resources, visit guidelines.org. We would like to hear from you, too. You can email us at info@guidelines.org. That's info@guidelines.org. Thanks for listening, and we invite you to join us again for the next edition of Guidelines.